have a philosophy here, and that is every church has to have some sort of maintenance fund of their own to keep up on a month-by-month basis. But every once in a while the roof starts leaking. You can't anticipate that, so how do you address that? That point was driven home to me at my own church, at Christ Church in Coronado. We, 4 or 5 years ago, began sitting down to assess and list all of the deferred maintenance issues we had. The list was enormous. We went out, we were fortunate enough to be able to go out and do our own capital campaign, and we raised about $2 million to do that. I also had the privilege of directing the spending of that money in 2 phases. I couldn't begin to tell you how many issues we raised that we just didn't know about. Once we got into opening up the building, it was just enormous. And how the place didn't burn down, how the chandeliers didn't fall down, just amazing to me. So there are issues out there all the time that need to be addressed. So, as part of this campaign, we conceived the idea of something at the diocesan level that could be of direct assistance to individual parishes. And that was to put together an endowment fund where we could pool money that would be available for churches to borrow. It's no secret that banks don't like dealing with churches. And the reason is they're concerned about collecting the loan. And in the event that the church defaults on the loan, no bank president wants to come and close down the church to seize the property and bring it back. The other complicating factor that's just been instituted in the last 3 or 4 years is that banks now are required under federal regulation to reserve for a loan that is conceived to be shaky or not good. And so in the case of a church, the bank has to reserve 100% of that loan when they make the loan from day one. Doesn't it? Even though it's a performing loan, they still have to reserve for it because there's some question as to whether they would be able to collect on it. So in any event, we put together this program, and the intent is to assist parishes in accomplishing property maintenance initiatives through low-interest loans. I'll come back to that in just a moment and describe what that means. And then the interest earned through this program will be used to fund grants for innovative parish ministry, and I will also come back to that in just a moment. One thing you have to realize about this program is it's going to take some time to get it kicked off. We've got to get the money in the till first before we can loan it out. So it might take about a year before we have enough funds in the form of pledge payments to be able to start this program. The